Hey y'all, Irix Guy here. Welcome back to another live show. Obviously just walking and burning some fat during this live show, so you can still super chat. Just click that super chat button down in the chat area. But yeah, got a lot of good stuff. As I had mentioned yesterday, I was putting together the 240 frames per second slow motion Mavic Air 2. So I got that up, and I've received a lot of feedback. I was very impressed with the 240 frames per second slow motion video quality from the Mavic Air 2. You know, that was unexpectedly cool. You know, since it's not in 4K, I was kind of expecting a disappointing experience. But no, man, Mavic Air 2 slow motion is cool. Got a ton of people tuning in here. This is wonderful. The weather is cloudy, but obviously safe for a drone flying. The ceiling, I think, is a few thousand feet, the clouds. Michael says, "Hey, Irix Guy." Hello, Michael, and welcome aboard, sir. Welcome to the live show. I know you've been on some of my live shows. This is the very casual walk around and talk. Trep says, "Hey, welcome back, Trep." Trep, you make all these shows, man. That's incredible. That is dedication, my friends. Philippe says, "Hello, Ed. Thank you for replying to my questions." No problem, man. And I didn't want to say, Nate Sarog says, Mavic 2 Pro and 1-inch sensor, hard to beat. I'm a sunrise and sunset guy. Yeah, if you're doing sunrise, sunsets, you're not going to trump. You're going to be unable to trump the 1-inch sensor in the Mavic 2 Pro. Although the Mavic Air 2 does an outstanding job with low light situations like sunset and sunrise. Although it does an outstanding job, it's definitely, just because of the sensor size, you know, it's not as good as the Mavic 2 Pro. So yeah, you've been the king of the sunsets and the sunrises. I could see how that would be. Trep says it was snowing today. Man, that's awesome. I love snow. I love snow, but I also love sand and that sort of stuff. So anyway, yeah, man, that's some cold stuff. That snow, sorry about that. I didn't bring my monopod accessory today. I'm just hand holding this iPhone XR. So, excuse me if it's a little bit bumpier. That's why I'm just working what I got, y'all. You know, just working with it. So, seen a lot of feedback about the Sony ZX or ZV-1, the new vlogging camera, and actually the feedback's very positive. Trupp says it didn't stay on the ground though, got all wet. Yeah, a lot of times snow doesn't stick. Most disappointing memory I have was British Columbia, and I was there in what was normally peak snow season. Colin, UK, welcome from Liverpool in the UK, the United Kingdom. Welcome aboard, sir. Philippe says, I wish DJI could do an update to fix the autofocus problem on the Mavic 2 Pro. I may wait for a while before I get another drone if they come up with the Mavic 3 Pro. Honestly, man, and anytime that people decide to purchase drones and or accessories through epicdroneshow.com, it puts a smile on my face. But even with it putting a smile on my face, I'm not going to be the sleazy salesman and be like, yeah, you need it just because it's the newest. Like I said, the Mavic Air 2, it is my favorite drone on the market today. But for me to say, hey, you've already got Mavic 2 Pro, do you need Mavic Air 2? I would say no. Do you want Mavic Air 2? Well, you probably do. A lot of people do. And would Mavic Air 2 be possibly a more enjoyable experience all the way around than Mavic 2 Pro? I believe it probably would be. That's the big question. Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, it's just, I'm a different animal with this because, I gotta buy these drones because there we go. Yeah, if we, like usual, if we get latency, I'll be right back. Sometimes I have intermittent stutters in the cellular stream. I saw some comments coming in here. We've got, that's the big question. Nate's Rock says, hey, Irix, I want to get a small self-contained drone for my grandchild. He is 4 years old. Do they make pretty much indestructible drone for my child to learn? That I'm not sure about, because, drones, you want to, that's something I've never researched, because, even the Tello drone, which is a good fun drone, I don't think it would be appropriate for that age, because it could be, that could be dangerous. I'll do some legwork and see if I can find starter drones for kids. That'd be a good idea. Andrea says, hello, welcome aboard, Andrea. Always a pleasure to have Andrea. Speaking of that, I blew the horn, the didgeridoo, to celebrate some super chats during the live shows. So super chats come through in these walking shows. Don't worry. When they come through, when I have my next studio show, I always blow the didgeridoo to celebrate the super chats from the previous walking shows where I don't have my didgeridoo. It'd be too tough to walk and carry a didgeridoo and a phone around. So I apologize in advance for that. But yeah, man, it's hot. But at least the sun's not beaming down and melting me. That's always an unpleasant feeling. But yeah. Got a ton of stuff coming. Nate's Rock says, so with your old Mavic 2 Pro, even when you tapped, sorry, I have to hit the little, even when you tapped and focused, it didn't work. Yeah, it did work. Mavic 2 Pro worked really, really well. My only gripe, and I may have, and again, when I say it worked really well with the most recent firmware. But even with the most recent firmware, I frown upon the Mavic 2 Pro because of, I missed a few seconds, a key moment of a flight. And this was the flight where I took the boat out to the island. And, I had 3 batteries, but I was out on the boat all day. So, I had one part of a battery allocated for that stop, and it missed a key moment. It was poorly focused when I was taking off. And that would have been so cool, because it came from the beach, and then you could see me standing there in the entire island. And I was using autofocus on Mavic 2 Pro with the most current firmware. So that's that. And the rest of the time, it's usually pretty reliable. But it was that one key moment. Even though the autofocus has become more reliable, even though the manual focus is, you got to, if you remember to set that and it's perfect, the manual focus is usually really solid. Set it to manual focus and check your manual focus. Yeah, Philip says buffering. Yeah, sorry about that, man. The Mavic Air 2, I just take off, I hit record on the camera, and it hasn't disappointed me yet. And, granted, I've only been piloting the Mavic Air 2 for a few weeks, since I received mine from epicdroneshow.com, but it hasn't failed me yet. So, reliability, in my opinion, reliability trumps performance. So even though the Mavic Air 2, the camera is not quite as good as the Mavic 2 Pro, it's reliable, and autofocus is rock solid. So for that reason, Mavic Air 2 grossly trumps Mavic 2 Pro, even though it doesn't have a 1-inch sensor. I got a comment came in here from Michael. I've been ordering all the new parts for a 4K editing computer build. I couldn't even edit 4K on my older X64 AMD laptop. Can't wait to edit my drone footage from the past 5 or 6 weeks. Dude, that's awesome. It's important to have a powerful rig for video editing, especially 4K. I've actually just made the switch, switching from, and I'm an Apple guy, so I'm a little bit different. I use Final Cut Pro 10, but I just made the switch from a 2018 MacBook Pro with 16 gigs. It was an i9, and I'm making the switch to a 16-inch MacBook Pro i9 with 32 gigs, but also You know, it's going to be 8-core instead of 6-core. So, you know, it's one of those things when you're editing 4K video, you know, you need that CPU. You need that GPU, that graphics processing unit. You need a lot of memory, a lot of RAM. You know, especially 4K video, it's very resource intensive. Colin says, I have the Phantom 3 Pro that I will have to start using again. Let's see. Thanks to Irish Guy for the tutorial videos from a few years ago. You taught me everything I needed to know as a beginner. Awesome, man. Awesome. And that's what I love that, because that's, I mean, you know, I do this for fun, but you know, sometimes with these videos I get questions like, well, why'd you post that? You know, I already know that. And then there's the people that actually appreciate it because they're a beginner and they find value in it. So, you know, for that reason, if there's anything you'd like to see me, John, welcome aboard. Hope that you're doing well. Hope you're doing well too, man. Welcome back. But yeah, anything you want to see me address within upcoming videos, you know, beginner topics, more advanced topics, you know, I'll do it. Phantom 3 Pro was a good drone. I had the same drone before. Phantom 3 Pro was awesome. You know, Phantom 3 Pro was, you know, coming up from Phantom 2 Vision Plus. It was like, whoa, you know, now I've got this awesome camera. You know, Phantom 3 Pro was the first taste of what I would call excellence in the camera department from DJI. And then it only got better from there. And now we've got, on a very even smaller and lighter drone, we've got greater range, we've got better camera performance, better overall, you know, design. I mean, you don't have those, you know, the little square cage that you're landing on that had a tendency to be top heavy or tipsy-turvy or whatever you want to call it. You know, especially when you're on a boat and you're anchored. And, you know, when you're on a boat and it's anchored, even if the sea's calm, you know, you got a little bit of rock there. And when you're trying to land, you know, it's easy to topple a Phantom over on its side and break a prop. But that's the one thing I like about the Mavic Air 2. Well, the Mavic Air 2, Mavic Mini, Mavic 2 Pro, is that the way they land, I mean, you can easily pop her down on a boat. Paul Kastner says, pee 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 poo poo poo, pee 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 poo poo, pee 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 poo poo. That's what Paul said. Welcome aboard, Paul. Welcome to the live show. Remind everyone this is a live show, so you can super chat if you choose to do so. Michael says, I'm building AMD Ryzen 7. Very nice. With 64 gigs video RAM, 500 gig SSD. 500 gig SSD, Sony Vegas Pro editing, latest version. I have over 3 hours of footage. Man, that's going to be fun. Sony Vegas is cool. I haven't spent a lot of time with it, but I know a lot of editors that have in the industry, and they love it. Philippe says, the Mavic Air 2 doesn't make you nervous if you lose the connection to lose the drone, or is it 100% safe? Actually, my Mavic Air 2 connection so far has been rock solid. No concerns there. Colin says, Mavic Air 2 is a great, advanced, and compact drone compared to Phantom 3. Yeah, it definitely is. It's, you know, what's interesting, the direction that DJI chose to take, you know, with Mavic Air 2, you know, from Mavic Air, the original, to the Mavic Air 2. I wouldn't say it's pro because of the inch sensor, but as far as the body, as far as the performance, the battery life, the Mavic Air 2 is a superior drone. The only thing that's slightly inferior to the Mavic 2 Pro is the camera. But again, the reliability of the camera makes even a camera that doesn't have a 1-inch sensor better. So overall, it's better. But if they could achieve autofocus performance with a 1-inch sensor on an upcoming Mavic Air, that'd be awesome. Sock Tunnel says, isn't the Autel Evo 2 camera drone shooting 8K the next deal? Man, you know, and I hate to say this, and I would love to see a company come up and try to compete with DJI. Autel. I always go back with Autel to CES, Consumer Electronics Show. And I remember this drone that they had at CES, Consumer Electronics Show, and it was awesome. And it was, modular camera, this, that, and the other, and awesome drone. Never materialized. Autel has developed, and maybe my perception of them is unfair, but my perception of Autel is that, they promised the world and they never delivered. And, to Colin's point, I think 8K, and again, I was an early adopter of 4K, and I'm glad I was, even though I was ridiculed early on for adopting 4K because people said I didn't need it. I think 8K could provide value. I mean, at this point in time, I wouldn't publish in 8K because there's just not enough devices out there to view it in 8K. But where 8K would provide value would be cropping, because, you're working with a video canvas that is physically larger than 4K. So in essence, you could film 8K, and within post, you could zoom in, virtually zoom within post-production, and should be able to achieve at least 4K, depending upon how much you zoomed. If you're filming in 8K and you're publishing in 1080p, which is 1920 by 1080, you've got a lot more room to crop or to zoom within post. So, 8K from that perspective provides a lot of value. When I look at it from, when DJI releases an 8K camera, I think Colin says, been thinking about to attach my 360 cam to my drone. Yeah, speaking of that, why have we not had a drone yet for DJI with a 360 camera? Is that something that's going to be an option for Mavic 3? If Mavic 3 has a modular camera option that's, user interchangeable without tools, will 360 degree spherical be a camera option? In a perfect world, they'd give us a 360 camera option. They'd give us a 1-inch sensor or greater camera option. They would give us a zoom camera option. I think that trio of cameras for a drone body like the Mavic Air 2 would be a game changer. Because imagine this. Let's say hypothetically you could buy a future version of Mavic Air 2. Let's not call it Mavic Air 2. Let's just call it Mavic Modular. Mavic Modular, dude. Buy the drone, and then premium price for the drone. You buy the drone affordably, and then you buy the cameras, and that's where DJI makes their money, because you could choose to buy, one camera, maybe all you want is a zoom. Maybe you want to zoom in a 1-inch sensor. Maybe you want to zoom 1-inch sensor and a 360. So, maybe you buy all three. Leave the option to the customer. Sell the drone in the future more like a flying tripod. You buy a tripod, you attach whatever brand, whatever make of camera you want to it. They need to go with drones that way. Come up with a standardized mount for drones, for cameras, a standardized connector. Let's call it whatever. And then once you buy that drone, you're not buying a drone anymore, even though it's a drone. You choose type of camera to put on top of your flying tripod. I think that would be a good, business model. So who knows? Who knows what the future is going to bring? Yeah, I like the Inspire. Yeah, but not so big and not so heavy. Oh, man, I get cramps in my back just thinking about the Inspire. It's too big. It's too heavy. But yes, the modular features like the Inspire in a Mavic Air 2 sized package would be wonderful. You've got something portable. You've got something modular without requiring the use of tools. You've got a game-changing drone. Why don't they do it? Well, and the reason is probably why they're not going to do it or anytime soon. Number one, they don't have any competition. And number two, I think, they've, just like Apple with iPhones, and, they've got a lot of customers, married to the idea of, oh, there's a new drone out. If I don't buy it, I'm missing out on something. Dale says, have you tested the obstacle avoidance around trees? Actually, I have, and that's a video I've got going through my editing workflow right now. It's pretty interesting. And one of the videos I haven't published yet, but I went through the treetop canopy, and obstacle avoidance was pegging even the small branches. I was flying over a stream in the forest, and there were small twigs sticking out. Obstacle avoidance even picked those up. So again, Mavic Air 2 obstacle avoidance, to be safe, I always assume that it doesn't exist. But with that being said, it does an incredible job, man. I mean, a lot of times when I'm flying really seriously, really precise flying, I have to turn obstacle avoidance off because it's so good. Hybrid Life says, where's the spicy noodle video? Dude, welcome back. It is on my channel, man, youtube.com/IRIX guy. Check out the video. I think I'm not in front of my list right now, but it's the Korean 2X spicy noodles. And I even gave a shout out to you. Yeah, man, well, you need to study up on that Korean 2X spicy noodle video, because I reviewed it. I did it on a nice clean table. I cooked the noodles. I videoed the cooking of the noodles in an unedited fashion. I ate the noodles and my mouth caught on fire. So you can watch it all there. Thanks again, man. That was quite a challenge. Let's see. Is it better than Mavic 2 Pro? Better than the Mavic 2 Pro. So, let's see here. And then snap on, snap off connection for camera swap. That would be a great idea. Yeah, it definitely would be. And then Colin says, drones have come a long way and are getting smaller and smarter. They definitely are. Yep, Hybrid Life, study that stuff, man. We need doctors. I tell you, the medical profession, that is a big, huge and important profession. So you keep studying, be a good doctor. Be a good doctor. Let's see. John says, I love the Mavic Air 2 low light. My Phantom 4 Pro 2 with the mechanical shutter can't beat for the pics and video. Yeah, it's a good performer. It's super solid. Super solid. Hybrid Life says, wow, man, thanks. I appreciate it. Check it out right now. Thank you, sir. Philippe says, I didn't hear your answer. A lot of buffering. Yeah, I got a bunch of interference. Yeah. The obstacle avoidance, in my opinion, just having flown the Mavic 2 Pro for a long time and Mavic Air 2 for a few weeks, Mavic Air 2 obstacle avoidance, in my opinion, I wouldn't say it grossly trumps, but I would say it trumps Mavic 2 Pro obstacle avoidance performance. Likewise, Active Track, Mavic Air 2, I would say Active Track, Mavic Air 2 grossly trumps Mavic 2 Pro's Active Track performance. So, there's, I don't know. I mean, it's getting tougher to choose the best drone. I mean, but again, in your shoes, I'm not, I mean, yeah, I love to sell drones and you want to pick one. I'm not suggesting that the switch from Mavic 2 Pro to Mavic Air 2 is necessary. Would it be a good switch? Yeah. But is it a necessary switch? I wouldn't say so. Let's see, we got a comment here. Colin says, wife Luciana says hi from cold summer here in Liverpool. I hope I pronounce, is it Luciana or Luciana? Either way, hello wife, Luciana. Yes, so we've got an international audience, which is always great. Cool. Luciana. There you go. Burning calories. Yep, we're, whew, man, starting to break that sweat, get this burnt out. I had some corn on the cob. I had some, let's see what I had, corn on the cob and gumbo. Luciana, there we go. Smash that like button, everyone. Definitely smash that like. And while you're at it, smash that super chat. Super chat. And, you know, again, this is a walking show, but the next time I do my show from the live studio, I will sound the sound of the super chat in celebration of all super chats from this show. So we've got this going here. Whew, man, it's hot. So let's see, it is about 9:12 p.m. New York City time. Never missed any of your cool posts. Dude, that is incredible. How often do you challenge? Let's see. Dale says, how often do you challenge your flying ability? I know you choose safe and responsible locations, but do you practice? Yes. So as far as challenge is concerned, you can check out my videos where I'm going over waterfalls. You know, obviously safe and responsible locations, but I do put the drone to its, you know, I put my skills to the test by going really close to objects. You know, objects that I couldn't damage. It would just damage my drone. But I get really close, and that creates that, you know, when you're watching a video, it creates that more exciting and challenging my abilities as a drone pilot to get those low and close shots. And, you know, obviously always say, always the risk reward, the reward is, dude, that video looks sick. That looks sick, dude, you know, because you get a perspective that you can't get if you're, you know, of greater distance from that object. And when I'm talking about close, I'm talking about a foot or 2 feet away. And the same is applicable for tree branches. And I've got a video I'm probably not going to post tonight, but I'll probably post tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, where I'm going through the forest and I go through the treetop canopy. And, you know, there's twigs and branches and leaves and all that kind of good stuff. And, you know, that's a challenging, you know, testing my abilities as a drone pilot. So, you know, it is what it is, but, whew, man, it's hot. I'm burning up. But I'm burning up for a good reason, because we got a live show. And this is important stuff. Always is. So, yeah, I got some more drone videos in the works, and, you know, I've got a cut sheet of all y'all's questions, and I'm working through it. There's one that I've had on the list for a long time and I haven't done yet, and that's the still photo test for Mavic Air 2. I've still got to do that. And I want to do a really thorough still photos test with Mavic Air 2. And, you know, it's on the to-do. It's just I've still got one battery. So, you know, I'm getting all these video things in first, and then I'm gonna explore the photo stuff. So it's an ongoing process. I mean, I've got a list probably 20 video topics long. Also concurrently working on some other content, in particular, you know, consulting type services for, you know, how to set up Google Wi-Fi, how to set up Amazon Eero, how to set up Google Nest Wi-Fi, you know, how to set up most any wireless mesh network. Because not everybody is technically minded when it comes to that sort of stuff. So, you know, that's a service that I can provide. Michael says, I was wondering how good the 48 megapixel images. We will find out, man. That is on my list, and I apologize for taking so long. Rife said, that have to have been the funniest video I've ever seen in a long time. Haven't laughed that hard in a while. Good deal, man. Well, my face was on fire, man, and I've got another pack of that Korean spicy 2X noodles, and I'm gonna get brave here in a few weeks and try it again, because that stuff, man, whew, it was just a slow and lingering heat. I didn't expect the buildup, but yeah, man, it had a good flavor. It did. Yeah, that video sure good, man. I appreciate it. Colin says, sorry, have to go now to grab something to eat, but we'll continue to rerun this stream. Have fun flying. Hey, Colin, thanks as always for tuning in, sir. Appreciate it. And tell Luciana, y'all have a good dinner. So, man, Michael says 21 meg on my 21 megapixel on Anafi looks so good. Yeah, Anafi, I will give Anafi credit. Anafi had a pretty good little camera on it. Yeah, it was. I wasn't so much a fan of the build quality of the Parrot Anafi, but the camera, man, it was tasty. It was tasty. So, whew, hot, 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 burning up. But it's worth it to have a live show. So, yeah, so I've got, a lot of stuff on the cut list for this week. A lot of stuff right now running through compressor. So I've got a bunch of stuff in the works, and I'll be getting to all the questions. It's just, you can imagine having all these videos and, being a one-person operation, which is fine. I mean, I just, I've got to work with the bandwidth that I have. So I'm gonna get it all. It's just, it's taking some time, but I'm gonna continue to pump it out and continue to do these live shows. I've really enjoyed the live shows, especially just the on the fly questions and comments. That's great. Without a doubt, the super chats, that's phenomenal. Because it's supporting the channel, and that's like super chat as much and get /get a lot. Just a little bit short. Hey, we're over 35 or 34 minutes, so this isn't too abbreviated of a show. But be thinking of your questions, your comments. Comment on my Facebook page. Comment on my YouTube. Tell me what you would like to talk about during the next live show, and we'll just get a bunch of stuff. Infused Adventures, man. Hello, Infused. Welcome aboard. Always a pleasure to have you, man. I was telling everybody we're about 35 minutes in, and I'm gonna wrap this one up kind of quickly. I've got some projects that I'm working on that I'm gonna fire up and do that and try to get some sleep at a reasonable hour. So thank y'all for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next live show, and y'all have a good day and be safe.